Okay, this video is probably going to cover all 4 areas of the ordering dashboard. That's the functionality, the style, the directives and services, and the unit tests. The time I've given is 6 and 2, so about 1 day to get the style and functionality, a day for the directives and services, and a day for the unit tests against the directives and services. So if we look at the functionality, there'll be responsiveness that has to be looked at. If we look at style, there'll be panels, and you do have the Peer Assist website to work off. So the username for it's peerassist.com.au. You've got to click on the login button. Then it's hospitalitybookdodo.com, and then the password for that is here, 4320 Marco22. So use that to sign in, and we sign in. You see the sort of styling that we've had in the past with this. So the first thing to notice is that the profile page, I've done it as an edit fields, but that's not right. It's meant to be view only. We'll need placeholders for adverts. Then when we get to the account, actually before we get to the account, so the profile, that it can't be a text form like that. So it's about trying to make this look like this, of course. What else is going on here? I'll just press F12 and shrink it so that we can see more. Venues isn't going to make much sense because I don't have multiple locations. Have a look at how they've done invite suppliers. Fortunately, this is too slow for me to even click on it in the video. What I've done is I've just added these 3 fields. That's probably going to be okay, though it should be a text area, of course. The account then will be editable. And let's look at the data that this all comes from. So as part of the functionality phase, you'll just want to make sure that the APIs that you need to use, which I think will just be user, account, and maybe specials, just want to make sure that the API in here matches the API in server. So if we go to server and we go to API and we go to account and we go to index, you just want to make sure that these routes match your resources. I haven't done that yet. Most of them should be right, but just be careful. But when it comes to editing data, there's basically this account and profile stuff, or let's say it's just account, may be made up from data from 2 different areas. So area 1 is the account model, which has all those fields. Don't have to worry about the user IDs. That should just come through when you query it anyway. And then there's also the user itself. So the user has name and email. Doesn't look like we currently support first name, last name, so that'll just have to be name. Now let's also look at the controller. So accessing a user should be done through me. So you don't need to pass any IDs, that way it comes in on the request. So long as it's attached. I haven't checked to see if that's attached. If it's not attached, can you let me know, and we might have to do a task for attaching the current security user onto every request. So for the user, you'll be using me and you'll be using update. Once you have a user, you also have access to their account, which is here, which leads us to the account model, at which case you'll be using the account show, which is show by ID, account ID, and update, which is here. Now, there are validations involved, so this also would be part of functionality, I think. Essentially, I do return errors. Maybe let's not worry about them just yet, because I think with errors, we might wait till we've got 3 or 4 components and then come up with a consistent error visualization system. Now the orders, for now, just show a list of current orders. Let's just see what I've got. Now, if we look at the orderer controller, you just need to use the standard index, the standard query system. Now, you shouldn't need to pull in any parameters, because what it will do is it'll look at the user role, and it says if the user is an orderer, attach the user ID to this exact filter. So this particular route, the index route, will not show orders that don't belong to this particular user anyway. There's something similar for suppliers, except for suppliers it's only stuff that's being sent to them, whereas for the orderer they own it, so it's anything. So really all you got to do is call the index method to return orders, and then just format it as a table for now. And have a quick look at help. The idea, I think, is that we might have some words that we want to write on help, but for now just embed a YouTube video, because this video that I'm doing for you is probably how we'll do help around the system. Don't go too complex with this yet, because I've only given you 6 hours for all the functionality. Just something quick and simple, and then once we've got a few of them in place, we can look at what we can do for help. So much of what I've just been talking about is for these 2 tasks, of which I've given you just a day to work on, but then I've given you another day to convert anything that you've seen into directives and services, and another day to make those directives and services testable within Karma. So I'm giving you 3 days all up. Let me know if that's an issue. I don't care how you do it. Like, I mean, you might do it all as one thing as you're doing a profile, or as you're doing an invite supplier or specials. You might style, create functionality, do the directive, and do the unit test all at the same time for one component at a time. But I'll let you think about what you want to do there. One other thing about unit tests. You need unit tests for your services, and you need unit tests for your directives. But you don't have to test that the save actually works. You do want to test that data is coming back, but you don't need to test the validation of the data so much, because you've got to remember that all those web services actually have their own detailed unit tests to make sure that only good quality data can go in anyway. So it's more about higher level functional tests rather than unit tests to make sure. I'll let you use your discretion really, but just be mindful that you don't necessarily have to go really detailed on calls to web services that have already been unit tested anyway. Oh, and by the way, I don't believe I have a field for the logo. So for now, let's just hard code a logo until I think of what we're going to do there.